monkeypox, and a fourth stimulus check. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now this is a big question that I've seen showing up down in the comments section from many of you right here in the community. So that's exactly what I want to focus on right here in the video and answer the questions that so many of you have been wondering. Let's get into it and discuss all the details. However, really quickly before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I am very much dedicated to you and this community to continue doing all the research, breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what is actually going on right now as things are changing very, very rapidly, and as we continue to get all these new announcements out of the administration, the president, Congress, lawmakers, and whatever Congress is currently working on, including all these new bills, packages, proposals, amendments to very important benefits, as well as reform to these very important benefits, and anything in regards to money, benefits, checks, raises to benefits, stimulus, or any other programs out there right now. There's a lot going on, things are changing rapidly, and we continue to get very important announcements literally every single day. So either way, I'm here for you in any way that I can be to bring you all these latest updates and to keep you informed of what's going on, as well as to help everybody in this community any way that I possibly can. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day with all of this information. All right, now let's get into it and talk about the questions that so many of you have been wondering with this whole monkeypox situation, and is this going to issue another stimulus check? All right, now that's a really great question. Let's break this all down and discuss what is actually going on here. All right, now here's what happened. A few days ago, we got the announcement out of the Secretary of the Health and Human Services Department, and he basically said that because monkeypox has been spreading around the country here, they're now declaring monkeypox as a public health emergency. Now, that is the same thing that COVID is going through right now as well. Remember, there's a public health emergency declaration in place as well for COVID, which currently is going to be expiring as of October 13th. Now, I did not see an expiration date for the public health emergency declaration for monkeypox, but this is now in place as well. So some of you have been reaching out saying, okay, they issued it. Does this mean we're going to get a check for monkeypox now too? It would be really nice, but that's not really how it works. All right, so let me break this down for you a little bit more clearly, because I know it's like, what does this all mean and why are they actually doing this? Here's what it comes down to. So back in January of 2020, the Public Health Emergency Declaration was put in place as a result of COVID coming in. However, that is not really the reason why stimulus checks were actually issued in the first place. Stimulus checks were issued because of the economic repercussions of COVID at the time, right? We had the closures, the lockdowns, the restrictions. We had all kinds of different things. We had the economy that was really getting whacked pretty hard at the time in early 2020, and that's why they started to issue these massive multi-trillion-dollar stimulus packages, like the $2.2 trillion CARES package back in March of 2020, which was also followed up by the $900 billion package in late 2020 and the American Rescue Plan in early 2021, $1.9 trillion. So it's all because of the economic impacts. At this point, considering monkeypox has, a little bit over 6,600 cases across the country, there's no economic activity as far as economic closures or economic contraction. There's not lockdowns. There's none of this stuff as a result of monkeypox. So I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying it's not really having the economic impacts like COVID did back in early 2020, right? When things were locking down, the unemployment rate was very, very high. About 40 million people were out of jobs. At that point, yeah, you can see the economic contraction at that point was pretty severe. So as a result of that, they started passing these multi-trillion-dollar packages to help out the economy and to get the money out into the pockets of the people. It didn't really have anything to do with the Public Health Emergency Declaration actually being in place. So now that they've issued another Public Health Emergency Declaration in place right now because of monkeypox, again, unfortunately, that's not really the ticket that we're looking for in order to get a stimulus check issued. So when it comes down to it, to simply answer your question, no, a stimulus check is not going to be issued because of monkeypox. It'd be pretty nice, but it's not going to work that way. Not right now anyway. Unless for some reason this explodes and the whole thing spreads across the country and it becomes like this really severe thing, I just don't foresee that happening. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician by any means at all. So don't take this as medical advice, because it's certainly not. I'm just simply saying I just don't foresee that happening. I don't foresee monkeypox being like the next version of, COVID equivalent type of thing. I just don't foresee that happening. So that's what it comes down to. It all comes down to the economic activity, and it all comes down to how much is this really impacting the economy? Because at the end of the day, that's what they care about. They want to make sure that the economy is still running, the economy is still operational. They want to make sure that people are still working and all kinds of things like this. And at this point, we don't see any kind of closures or economic contraction as a result of monkeypox and or the public health emergency declaration as a result of that. However, why did they issue it then? What's the whole point? Why did they issue the public health emergency declaration? Good question. The reason for that is when they actually issue one of these public health emergency declarations, it allows them to get special privileges to ramp up vaccine distributions and vaccine manufacturing and all kinds of other incentives or kinds of different things that they can actually access by having that declaration in place. Without the declaration, it's, they can't really access this stuff quite as widely as they can when it's in place, which is also why they continue to push out the public health emergency declaration for COVID as well, which again, they just extended it a few weeks ago out until the middle of October. So that's why they continue to do that, right? So anyway, I don't want to be the guy that bursts anybody's bubble. I'm just simply saying, this is what I'm bringing to you. Again, some of you have been asking down in the comment section. I've seen your messages, and this is the whole idea behind this. So it doesn't really matter. It's not like the golden tickets that sent us on to the next check that hits our bank account. It'd be pretty nice, but unfortunately, that's not really how this works. So, again, I hope this answers the question for you, but this is currently where we stand. And yes, we did get that official declaration out of the Health and Human Services Secretary, and they said, yep, we're going to be issuing this public health emergency declaration as a result of spreading cases of monkeypox. So now we've got COVID and we got monkeypox. So we got a cough and we got, well, what are the symptoms of monkeypox? I'm not really sure. I was going to say, yeah, I don't really know. Anyway, I was trying to be funny, but it's not something I should joke about. Sorry. But anyway, this is what we have going on right now. And again, for those of you that have been asking, I hope this gives you a better solution, better answer, and kind of explains the whole situation of what's actually going on right now. But this is kind of what's going on. But again, we'll need to continue watching everything very closely. Just because this one thing doesn't issue a stimulus check does not mean that they're never, ever going to happen ever again. That's not the case at all. So what we really need to be watching, rather than these designations out of the Health and Human Services Secretary, really what we should be watching is all of the economic data that continues coming out, like the jobs number from just the other day. That's important. We need to watch that. We need to watch the unemployment rate. We need to watch the Federal Reserve. We need to watch inflation. We need to watch Congress. What are they doing? Besides, not a whole lot of anything. We'll need to watch all of this stuff. It's all going to be highly correlated, and that's what's most important versus a little designation out of the Health and Human Services Secretary. That's what it comes down to. Anyway, hope this answers the question for you. Again, thank you so much to all of you who reached out with this question. It's a good one. I wish I had a better answer for you, but this is just the fact of the matter right now. Anyway, hope this one helps you. Again, thanks so much for joining me and for your continued support. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands and thousands of videos right here on the channel. Until next time, have a good one. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you again later in the next